We're sitting here in your beautiful, well, in your barn, maybe I should say
interesting barn.
In your interesting barn. Surrounded by some of your artifacts from the films that you made, including this big dead fish here, which remind me, what film was it from?
Beneath, much loved picture.
So, Larry, you've been making now films for how long?
Since the 70s.
Since the 70s.
Yes.
Okay. Did you ever have this aha moment when you did something, or you saw something, or you talked to somebody, and you realized, I want to make movies?
Well, the truth is that I came to movies through acting. I wanted to be an actor. I did a lot of stuff, even in grammar school, and I managed to make an impression by playing like the dragon in the school play, and I fell over the stage backwards onto my head, and everybody was talking about it for weeks. So that's where I got the bug. And then in the late 70s, like 79, I got a Super 8 camera. My first 4 films, one was about a car that runs over a child. One was about a man chopping up another man in a bathtub into little pieces with an axe. That was played by my brother. And then I made an existential drama about the history of humanity. So these were all Super 8. Right. And that's how I found my way.
I think that you have been part of the Woodstock Film Festival at least since 2001. But I've known you since before even. And many of your films have been at the festival, and films by your friends or people that you have supported have been at the festival. If you think about the role of a film festival in a filmmaker's career, as well as just the film industry at large, how do you see that?
Film festivals are essential, especially for indie filmmakers. Very often you've found the money and you've made the movie and you now have to sell it. So it's an important business venture to go to a film festival, but more importantly, it's where you learn whether your film is going over in front of an audience. And so there's a ritual of going, and then you meet people, and you scheme, and you talk about your movie, and then you have the actual applause and the Q&A, or the silence, and then the interrogation.
You are the epitome of independent filmmaking. You kind of, in many circles, you're considered sort of the uncrowned king of horror film, especially in the independent genre. What have you been tempted to sell out? Can you talk a lot about what the meaning is of selling out in film, and is it something that if you could just expand on that, that'd be great.
The whole idea of selling out, I've had friends over the years who are frustrated with me because they thought I should be more famous, or even famous for that matter. And you can't actively sell out, because what that really means is getting a job and a big budget and the trust of a studio. And I have had many interviews over the decades to try to make bigger pictures. I came very close to making a movie with Guillermo del Toro called The Orphanage.
I remember.
And it's funny, when it fell through, everyone assumed that I asserted my independence and said, to hell with Hollywood, and walked away in a huff. But that's not at all what happened. I wanted to make it, and I loved the artisans, the professionalism of the Hollywood system. But the reality is, when I sit down to conceive of a project, it has an offbeat nature, because I'm interested in riffing on cliches that are known from cinema, especially my genre, and then bringing something very personal in. So there's enough of a contradiction there that it appears to be uncommercial. I would say that I have a very long sellout, in that I've set up what Jason Blum does. Over the years, I made the idea of personal horror films my little corner of the world, and now that's much more popular, and even a movie like Hereditary and other artful horror movies sort of spring from that genre. So I'm just the slow sellout.